Hey guys, good morning. It's Archie here, and it's super exciting day because we get to go live with Joyride, and I'm trying to camouflage the wonkiness of my shirt in the camera, but it's not working. So, unless I wear a poncho, do we have a poncho? Does it look like like it's on, like it's electric?
Yeah,
See?
it looks like something's happening there.
Yeah, sorry guys. I should. This is why I constantly wear a solid color T-shirt
Actually,
because
it doesn't look too bad.
sometimes
It looks dark here, but it doesn't look too bad.
on their screen.
For
Oh yeah, no. It just looks bad on our end. All right. Anyway, guys, I hope that you've all had an amazing week and that you've been excited about completing Joyride. Now, a couple of things that we need to note about Joyride. If you want to be able to create that 3D balloon, you are going to need two different files. And I don't know if we failed to... We did share that. Okay. So, because of course, we just need the extra hot air balloon to be able to bring it to life 3D. So some of you may have already figured that out on your own, and some of you kind of read the to-do list. So I hope that that's good. Now, I actually haven't colored any of mine, and I'm going to go ahead and jump right on that, just because of, you know, sometimes people do like to enjoy the watching of the coloring and anyway, some of you have mentioned that you guys enjoy it, so it's totally up to you guys. If you guys want to go grab some breakfast, come back, because chances are I'll still be coloring.
Maybe a lot of them have already had breakfast.
Oh, that's right, because you're in. Maybe you want to go grab lunch. Some of you may want to grab dinner. I don't know, because I'm going to be coloring here for just a little bit. But super exciting time. I think that Joyride for us was kind of one of those transitional messages that we got at service, and it, you know, every single CFCV does some things that does their services kind of in a way where they launch these series, and of course under this series they go all out in regards to what the series is. Everything has the same look and feel, and there's consistency within the launches of their series, so which I kind of gravitate to, because that's kind of how I do my business. I launch in these segments, I launch in these collections, or at least I have in the past. And so Joyride was one of those kind of important messages during a very important time for us, that truly inspired the idea to create this particular digital download. Now, as I'm coloring, I'm going to kind of review some of those topics or some of those key components for us that were very crucial. Now, what's so great about CCV is that they actually have an app online, and I have the opportunity to write my notes from the service. So I'm gonna go back to my notes from the service, and you know, it's so great because you can actually see. Let's go ahead and switch over so we can see. So once you're currently, we're about to launch in this one called Core. Which is really exciting. We've been on this one called Core. Then there's Next Generation, Ready or Not. And then here we've got Joyride. And so Joyride had all 4 different series, because if you think it's 4 Sundays, and so typically sometimes they last more than 4 weeks. And then they're dated, so you can either go watch the service again, listen to it only if that's all you want to do, or go back to your notes. And then that's what we're going to do here, is we're going to just kind of fill in on our notes. And we're going to go ahead and switch over I'm sorry.
Oh,
we were already in the top view. Sorry. Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
You're confusing me. Now we want to see you color. We have Gail.
Hi, Gail.
She said, I'm coloring with you, so you know, don't worry. We have Melinda. She already had lunch and she's ready to color too. So.
Hi, Melinda. Already had lunch. Oh my goodness. Where are you guys?
Let's see who else we have here. We have Donna.
Hi,
Patricia
Donna. Hi,
Witzel.
Patricia. Patricia Witzel. As a matter of fact, Patricia was there for the very last class or
Expecting Saha.
yeah, she was
let's
here
hear.
she was here in town for that very last Joyride session. Is it a session? I don't know if it's a session, but um, but she was definitely here for that very last one, which was really cool to have her at church for that. All right, so I'm just going to start grabbing my markers, and you know the way that I like to color my pages is I go in and I do everything that I want to color in that color, and then I go back and I do everything that I want to color in those other colors, and so back and forth. I think I'm missing one color. Did you just pick the ones I
Yeah, close.
called out?
Mm-hmm. Unless you think. Let's see. Donna says, always love to watch the coloring. Patricia says she's already colored several sets, but she's going to color more. And Gail is, it's 1 o'clock in Virginia, so yeah, they've already had lunch.
Jeez.
And Patricia is also sharing that Ben is making stuff in the new air fryer.
Well,
Ooh,
look at you, Ben.
What's Ben making?
What are you making for us today, Ben?
So Alex says good morning.
Good morning, Alex.
Jerry says hello.
Hi, Jerry.
Sharon Paxton. Just kind of giving everybody a shout out. Good morning, you guys.
Good morning, guys.
Or good afternoon, wherever, depending where you're at.
Thanks for joining us for today's class. Always fun to be able to gather and connect. Is Rose on here or is she sleeping?
I haven't seen her on here. So Patricia's saying, I guess Ben's making homemade tortilla chips, and then he's gonna add apple. What? Then he's going to add some apples and sugar.
Oh, like a crisp, like a cinnamon crisp.
Let's see how it turns out. She says. Sounds yummy.
Is it part of the keto? Oh, I guess it wouldn't be. Keto's all cheese.
Alex is funny. She's cropping at Frank Garcia's studio with Norin, working on Joyride.
You're cropping, Alex? What are you cropping about? She's so kidding.
Need some music like last week when we were doing the holidays.
You got way too used to doing the pretties. Okay, so wait, I should have actually added some. I do like to go in and, like I said, I do all my single colors, and then kind of lets me know what colors I might be missing. Is that weird? I'm weird.
Well, everybody has different ways of coloring. Doesn't make you weird. Just makes it unique.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm missing a color.
Which one?
It's another one of these, like, blues. To see how. I'll make it work. It's like a lighter version of this, but I think it's fine. You know, guys, Gabby's actually taking this class as well.
I am. I'm trying to multitask here.
So she's like, I printed a set for myself. I'm like, oh really? I didn't see that on the sales sheet.
I said, I want to crop to you now.
My cat's not gonna be happy.
Uh-huh. Yes, she will. So, what? So Alex has her Copics, her planner downloads, which means she's just sitting there watching, LOL, doing nothing. Right? That's fine.
I think crops are funny. Like I feel like, oh, we're gonna go cropping, but I think it's just a way to just gather with friends and create together, and or maybe even just chit chat. Because I don't know that a lot of people get a whole lot done. So I think if anything, that's the cool part is you get to just connect,
Connect
with your friends.
Your peeps.
I'm just surprised Alex is even up that early to go to a crop. I mean, that means she would have had to be ready and hopefully shower.
You're always picking on Alex. Oh, Rose is here. Yay, Rose!
Rose made it. We were wondering if you were going to show up, Rose.
So Sherry does, she's like, I never create at crops. Alex is like, how do you even know you don't even go to crops?
I know because when I have been to crop, I haven't been to a crop,
like at the expos.
but at the expos when I used to teach at a crop, or teach 24/7 there, but when I used to do that, I'm like, well, let's see. I would walk around and I'm like, they're not getting nothing done, nothing done. I'm like, what is this?
They're just chit-chatting.
They're
Chit-chatting
just
away.
yeah. They're just chit-chatting away. All right, so I may come back with a few more blues later because I like to scope it out. Bring in my Vespa color.
What, Rose? She forgot to download, to print her downloads. What?
What?
So Kat joined us.
Good morning, girl.
She's checking up on us to say hello, and she's recovering from her dentist from yesterday.
Oh, that's right. That happened yesterday. How did that go, Kat?
I don't think she had fun.
Was that not fun?
I mean, who has fun going to the dentist?
I love going to the dentist.
Oh, you do?
Super cool. And I am going to be cutting these guys on my scan and cut. Which is why we printed the outline version. Alright, so I'm gonna come back in with some of my yellows. Just coloring away, guys. Just I'm not too interested in the blend because I'm gonna add all kinds of funsies to these, but you guys know.
So Kathy says no more tacos and high chews candies for a while.
Oh, you are taco deprived now, huh?
She can't chew.
Oh, you can't chew. Well, that's good. I guess maybe you'll lose weight now, like extra, since you can't even eat. That's why I think I like going to the dentist, because every time I go, I lose weight. I can't eat.
So Mary Miller, she has a message here for you.
Hi, Mary.
I just wanted to mention how much I enjoyed your explaining your card designs process during card club this month. I think your design principles work for home decorating as well.
That's true, actually. That's what I use when I decorate a home. Now, I'll tell you, Mary, that the last year I haven't actually done something that I love to do as much as I used to, which is decorate my home. I'm pretty fanatic when it comes to, bringing an event to life and or a holiday or a special occasion to life. And I guess just the last year's been a difficult one for a variety of different reasons, but yeah, it's just it's not that I lost my passion for it. I just haven't truly had the time to do so, and I miss it. And you're absolutely right. Same rules do apply when we're dealing with decorating and bringing anything, quite frankly, to life. So I do appreciate that you noticed that. All right, guys, I'm gonna come in with some green. And sometimes I like to go in. I'm gonna show you here in a minute. You're not necessarily. I'm not seeing the actual. Like, I like to go in to fill in the gaps. Like if there's little holes, I just go in and add some greenery. Last time, sometimes it gets a little blurred. Like, oh, what's a petal? What's a leaf? And there is really no right wrong answer. You decide where you want green to be, and you're gonna turn it into a, a leaf, or you're gonna turn it into a petal, and it's quite all right. So see how I'm just kind of adding, and I just like to trickle in and add some greenery, maybe even around the edges, so that the lines look, making sure that you've got good visual, and it just really pops. You know, it helps it come to life a little differently.
So let me catch up here on some of the comments. Donna says, can't wait for the next launch. Drop a hint of what's to come, please.
Oh my gosh, Donna. So we've got some amazing stuff that we're working on. Our goal is to be able to showcase with you the entire color palette of who we're gonna be, explaining to you my new story when it comes to what our colors are gonna feel like, why, and how they play well within your craft, and what makes them different from whatever else is going to be out there at that particular time, as well as introduce you to who we're going to be in the future. So our event in October is going to be all about information and the start of something new, and how you can continue to be a part of the studio, and how you are the studio. And so we're gonna go on a crazy adventure of what that is, who we're gonna be, how we're going to support you, and how our goal is to just continue to grow and build our RG Studio 360 community. And it's already pretty spectacular, I think.
That's been pretty amazing.
Yeah, just to see what we've been able to accomplish by God's grace has been unreal. So that's absolutely correct. Now, oftentimes I get asked if I'm going to do direct sales again, and the answer to that is my plan. It's going to be a little differently at first, but that is absolutely my plan. I want people to feel like they're able to bring in some income, if not support their hobby on, based off of what they have to offer to others. And we grow based off of education. In other words, nothing makes us want to try something more than the fact that we saw something just come to life. And I believe that with all my heart. So, as we continue to grow those efforts for everyone, then it just becomes pretty amazing. So I'm missing a gray. Do you have one over there? Just a very light gray.
Okay, so let me see here. So Nikki joined us.
Hi,
She says
Nikki.
she's all set.
Oh, good. She joined us after I finished coloring. That way I don't get yelled at.
She's like, oh, she's all set up, watching on TV and ready to color. And Debbie is also here joining us. Abo, we can't pronounce her last name, from Scotland, is that what she said?
Oh, hi, Debbie.
Let's see. Sherry says good times are here now. Patricia says that Chef Ben reports that he was successful with his chips, and now he's trying a salmon burger.
Wow, Mr. Ben. Like, all kinds of amazing stuff's happening over there.
I think we're gonna go over and try it out.
All right, guys, as we continue to just review, now let me just quickly show you something that happened here with my file. I guess when I created that cut line, I went too far off the edge, so that cut line's not coming through. You just have to make sure you connect the dots or else it won't cut. So just keep that in mind if you are using a scan and cut. And make sure that you've got it. Can I get the cut map? Alright, so while I'm going to be running this through my scan and cut, I'll talk a little bit more about Joyride. And again, it was a study on Philippians. And, you know, one of those things that was kind of so impactful for me during this, as I continue, I'm not going to say during, but as we continue this walk of faith, and how difficult and challenging the year has been. And I'm not going to say difficult and challenging in the sense that you know, there was no hope or there was no direction. I suppose that we did have direction. I'm gonna just bring this in through my scan and cut real quick, guys. Hold on, I'm trying to multitask here. Oopsie. It's not staying. This is a new one, right? Let's see if it stays. So again, as we're trying to kind of review and study who we're gonna be, or how you start all over again, you know, you have to kind of just dive into that walk of faith and figure out what's the new direction. Why? You know, there were so many whys. And every single series at CCV was, I think, crucial and a stepping stone. And I'm not saying it's because it was CCV. I'm saying, you know, I think it's what we needed to hear, or how it impacted us particularly, I guess I should say. Hold on, I'm trying to create my cut here. Obviously, I can't multitask. Talking.
You can't talk and concentrate on what you're doing.
I suppose not. Alright, so again, as we're kind of diving in through that series and multiple series, and they all brought in something different to the table. It's one of those things like, I feel like you had to break to be made whole again. And the Joyride is not necessarily the answer to, you know, oh, this is going to change, this is going to change, this is going to change, but how in fact you can actually create that change despite of your circumstances, because you're finding joy in the ride, whichever and however that ride might be going. Knowing that there's a bigger purpose than whatever the circumstances are, or knowing that there is a bigger mission than whatever personal mission you might have. You know, again, for those of us who feel like we serve a different mission, long term or bigger picture, you know, it's comforting to find joy in that ride, because you're like, well, you know, maybe I don't have the answers to this, or I don't know the whys those things happen, and I don't know why, you know, what felt like was God's purpose ended up switching and changing in the blink of an eye. And then every time you get closer and closer and closer to a newer day, a new day, and a new day, you kind of start getting more bits and pieces of the puzzle, and it just doesn't all come at once. And finding joy in that ride, I think what has allowed us, and I'm going to say allow, us to survive the last year. And even today, we don't have all the answers, and we don't have all the solutions, and we don't have clear direction, but we know we're moving in the right direction because things continue to come about. And you know, it was just an amazing series that inspired the. Can we switch over to the top so we can see the unveiling of our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful images? So much fun. And it's just that purposeful scenario that has brought so much joy into our lives despite the not having all the answers, and it's just been very, very impactful, I think, for us and for many around us also. We discovered, you know, so many things along the way, and I'm not gonna say that things don't, you know, hurt still. I obviously they still do in so many areas. I'll never forget a conversation or an email thread that happened around January of last year. And there was an event that was happening that some of you might be familiar with. And I was being reprimanded by, you know, those people. And I was told not to engage or not to connect with the community that I had built, and you know that they had gone over my not being there, that I too should get over not being there. And I was like, is that what's happening right now? I think I went through that phase of questioning myself, like, is it because I haven't gone over the, you know, is it because I still feel robbed, or is it because I still feel like something went wrong, or you know, that feeling of being abused, taken advantage of? Is it that, or was it really truly genuine excitement and or celebration for the people that I was potentially connecting with while it was happening? And so, you know, you kind of start questioning yourself, and that's what Joyride was about. Was, you know, don't allow the negativity or the bad intentions of others or the circumstances to take your focus away from what truly matters. And in this case was, of course, my faith. And I do believe that under this circumstance, under what's happened to my family, and during this major shift, I mean, some people are like, well, it's not a big deal, it's just a job. You know, it's really not. It wasn't just a job. It was such a leap of faith, and in more than a leap of faith, it was what I believe, and I still believe, was my calling, and what God wanted me to do, and demonstrated multiple times that this was in fact what he wanted me to do. And to see it go away would potentially question someone's faith. You're like, wait, what just happened? I've been faithful, we've been faithful, we've prayed, we've done everything that we believe needed to be done. Why? You go back to that why. Like, why is this happening? But although I don't have the answer to that question, I find joy in the ride, and feel like, well, I know God has a purpose for it, and was it to test my faith, or was it to potentially test the faith of others who did ridicule me at that time and say, well, where's your faith now, buddy?
Well, Gil Thompson saying, no, it's because they knew that you were the heart of it all. So.
Yeah, you know, and it's one of those things, like, and it's so crazy because, you know, once I made the decision, you know, I like to do this one word challenge thing a year, right? And last year, of course, I made the decision to choose the word rise for my word for the year. And so, not knowing, that I didn't even know that I was gonna have an event at that time, right? Like I didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't know what the future had for us, and or what God had planned for us. And so anyway, fast forward to almost a year, and as we were discussing our kickoff party, our launch event, the idea was like, what should we name? What should be the theme for our event? What should And we went through. Obviously, I went through several, and I'm like, oh, I want it to be this, and I want it to be this. No, I don't want it to be that. I want it to be this. So that's kind of my thing. And you would think that it was all planned years in advance. Like, oh, his word for the year is rise, and now of course we're gonna choose that for the event. No, guys, those things just kind of fall into place on their own, and to me, it's God's doing. And so once I made the decision for it to be rise, then I started to dissect rise a little bit more. And as I'm having this conversation with Gabby, I'm like, you know what, guys? All right, I said, you know what, babe? I want rise to be more than just rise. What does it mean? What has this meant? And rise above it, rise, be different, change, acceptance, the joyride, the series, how am I going to tie it into my walk of faith, despite not hearing sometimes, despite not seeing sometimes, despite not knowing what, there's faith, but sometimes there's no action or there's no resolution to that faith. I'm sorry, I'm going a little psycho killer, cutting these out a little bit more because I do like to really highlight my blooms, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So here's my original, the one I created, and then you've got this one, and see how what difference that would make. Now, if I were to put it on white, it doesn't make a huge difference, but because it's going to go over color, I really want to get close and take out all these little nooks and crannies that are gonna just cloud. No, so you might like it. It's fine.
So let me share some of the comments that they're sharing with you. Rose, she says, we don't have the answers for sure, and we are behind you and building our faith too. We are on the ride with you too. So she's sharing that. Kathy, I'm so blessed to be on this new adventure with you and Gabby. I was blessed to enjoy the previous adventure with you, but so happy we are all in a better place today. Debbie, she says, so agree with Gail. RG was the heart and soul. If you look at the designs they do now, they don't have the feeling of love in them. It's like a robot made them. So blessed to be part of this journey now.
Thanks, guys. It's absolutely true. I think that at first, I'm not gonna lie, and I hate going back to it because I feel like I'm not letting go, but that's not true. I don't feel like I haven't let go, because I've obviously I'm on a different path, but at first, and I think it's normal, right? I think it's natural. We're about to, I don't want to say the word celebrate, but we're about to experience our anniversary for the day that it all happened, and you can't help but go back and think of what happened and how it happened, and all the things that it meant, and all the things that who you were angry at, and who was there and who was not. And I think that that's been very, very, very difficult. So again, as you think and you relive some of those moments, or kind of the only way that you can learn from something is if you accept something that happened in the past. So or something that you've already experienced, or if you actually one of the things that makes experience so phenomenal is the fact that the reason why it's called experience is because you've already lived it. And so you get to relive it and say, because I already know blah, then that's why, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, so as I relive that a little bit, or as I experience that, I remember when it all happened. My biggest fear, my biggest worry is what's going to happen to my people, what's going to happen to my coaches, what's going to happen to, we work really hard. Who's gonna vouch for them? Who's going to make sure that they're taken care of or they're being heard? And I said that, I remember it, and you think to yourself, God, I was such a ding dong, because here I am in the chopping block, and I'm being told, what's happening, that I'm being let go, blah blah blah, and I'm like, so what's gonna happen to my people? Can I tell them? Let me be the one to tell them. Let me be the one to share. I'll make up something. I'll tell them that, I'm gonna go on a different path. I don't want them to feel hurt. I don't want them to feel like they're being abandoned. I'll support them from afar. Instead of being worried about I was gonna feed my children or what I was gonna do in my career, I was more worried about all the people whom I felt responsible for, because I felt like I invited them to my story, and now it was changing, and I couldn't guarantee what that story was going to look like in the future, and I was afraid for them, and I was afraid to have misled them, and I felt responsible, and I felt like no, I have to. Let me tell them. Let me be the one. Let me be the one to ease the hurt, ease the pain. And I was not allowed, obviously. I was told, no, we're going to handle it. And we don't want you to have any communication. And so, oh my gosh, I think that's probably what hurt the most, until the pain or the fear of, well, now how are we going to survive? Now what are we going to do? Settled in, right? That was the first one. And it's like, I was never fake about my love for my people. And of course, as certain milestones for them came along, or as I saw them share, oh, I've accomplished this, or I'm going to this, or look, I got that, or I made a sale, or I got a new recruit, I celebrated that with them, despite of the fact that I was no longer a part of it, and I wasn't allowed to. I mean, that was the part, like, nope, don't engage. I'm like, but guys, I would be fake and phony if just because I'm no longer getting a paycheck, or I'm no longer part owner because I've been stripped away from it, that I'm not supporting it. And that was hard. But it's again, it's one of those things. What did I see that I was missing? Oh, I think, was it on this? No, sorry.
Well, Debbie, let's see. So yeah, I'll never forget that day. Alex is saying it's just a job for them, and reflects it in their brand now. Because they don't have any heart for it. And then Debbie Daniels, she's letting us know that she wishes she could be here in October, but she doesn't think she'll be able to. I know it's going to be amazing. I'll be actually awaiting your announcement after the Rise event for that. And then Melinda, it's part of your testimony, and there's no testimony without the test. So.
Oh my gosh, so true, Melinda. Ooh, that was a mic drop. It's absolutely true, and I believe that with all my heart. I feel like every day, we're constantly like, what a story. What a story can I get the blues? What a story to be able to share one day. And gosh, I don't think we realize the impact of the story, and the fact that, and like we said, I think most people under normal circumstances would have lost their faith because they believe, or in my case, I believe this was God driven. And if it's taken away, then how big is my God? You know? I'm not gonna deny that at first I did go through some of those feelings of hurt and fear and just disappointment. Like, wait, what? You allowed what? But I channeled right back in and said, well, I'm sure you have a purpose.
And, like there's a saying that he gives and takes away, and
Yeah.
he gives again. So it's kind of testing. And then Gail said, "Your love for your coaches was apparent. That's what made it so special." And then Alex, she remembers that call and took the air right out of her as she was listening. When she got that call.
It was a difficult time, and you know what? I don't know. I think what was even more difficult was just kind of seeing the reaction of the community, not just my coaches or the coaches. I should say, not just the coaches, but the industry as a whole. And some were supportive, and some just
turning around and didn't even want to bother.
gave me their backs and judged me without even knowing what actually truly happened. That was a hard hit. I think that was a hard hit. And people who we believed were our family, that was even harder.
Right.
That was even harder of a hit. Sometimes you think, the coach community, you work so hard for them, but at the end of the day, they're trying to run a business and they've invested a lot, and I don't blame them. I didn't blame them. And as a matter of fact, I wanted to support them and cheer them on. But I wasn't allowed to after a while. Once I realized I wasn't allowed to, I kind of stepped back a little bit. But to see the ones who spoke badly, you're like, what in God's name is going on? So many people whom you worked hard for, and you're like, what?
That's when you know who your true friends are.
It was very, very difficult, and that doesn't mean you stop caring though. I'll be, I always worry about everybody regardless on how they treated me or judged me, but it was very, very difficult. And there's people whom I allowed in my home and be made a part of my family, and that still stings. But again, everybody has a personal journey and a personal reason, story for why they do the things they do. But it's all about finding joy in the ride.
Yay!
All right, guys. So what I've done here is I've redone that flower because I'm gonna 3D it. So I'm gonna just cut that guy out on its own.
Can you get those back, please?
These, yeah.
Since you're done.
So I'm just trimming this guy out, and then we'll start our assembly process. But we're gonna work on this one a little bit first before we can get to assembling. So anyway, I don't know if you guys seen my recent post on RG Shares, but I was doing the math last night again when we started to dissect rise and what did rise mean and why rise and how it was a perfect tie-in to our year and to our story and some of the challenges that we faced and just kind of who we've become the last year. So I started to dissect each word and I wanted to create a word or pick out a word, I guess I should say, that used the letter of rice. So, you know, we chose each letter now has its own word that it ties into.
And not necessarily that it begins with it, but just
Yeah, it doesn't have to begin with it. There's just that letter is in there, and so it just has a different meaning altogether. And I was looking at, so obviously I just shared today the letter S, and it stands for share as because we've actually shared every step of this journey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little spritzer bottle, and I'm just going to wet my bloom, the one that I cut out individually, because I want to texturize this and I want to bring that to life. Okay, so this is the one that's gonna be popped out. So just kind of work in that center. What's so great about this, guys, is that once we wet it, it tends to want to keep its as it dries, we want it to dry in that new shape, right? We don't ever want it to go back to normal. So we've done all of our folding and our crinkling. So once it's dry, we're gonna glue that to that, and it creates this beautiful effect. So let's just be careful not to play with it too much, because it is water and it is paper, and so it's gonna start to remove potentially your design, like your image is going to start to tear a little bit. So just enough that you've crinkled it, I don't know why I'm doing that you've crinkled it and played with it, and then just kind of let it sit. And then as if you see it try to go back to normal, just kind of give it a little nudge. No, you don't. You stay right there, little guy. No, you don't. You stay right there. Okay.
That's happening.
All right, so now just keep looking at it. Would you just look at it? Just keep looking at it, and if it seems like it's getting too flat, just go back and give it a little boost.
Rose says super gorgeous technique.
Super fun. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start with our little bicycle card. And you know what, guys? I'm going to do this like I did the last one, okay? Is that okay? Because I really think it's the best way to get her done. And I really think it's the best way for you guys to learn as well. If you kind of keep doing it this way and doing it this way and doing it this way and doing it this way, you guys won't need me at all. You guys are just going to be card making, paper crafting professionals.
What? We always need
It's going to be fun. So I'm going to do it the way that I showed you guys Card Club. For those of you who are not in Club Card, then I'm going to walk you through it again. And then we'll go that way. Okay? So again, part of what I spoke about in Card Club was that I typically create all my backgrounds first. And if I'm going to actually create a kit or something of that nature, then I simply say, you know what, I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use this. Babe, here you go. This is the kit. Go with it.
Go.
And so then Gabby just kind of starts prepping and working and creating. And so I'm going to create my backgrounds first for all 4 cards, and then all I have to do, and you know what's so great about this? Let's have this conversation. What's so fantastic about this, guys, is that this is going to give you the opportunity to look at our digitals differently. What? This is going to give you the opportunity to look far beyond the one image that you fell in love with, the one card that you have in mind. Because, I'm going to borrow your digital real quick. When you look at a digital now, you're going to know, you know what, guys? What I'm going to do you're gonna talk to yourself. You know what, RJ? I'm gonna color them all. I'm gonna choose my color palette and I'm gonna color them all. Once I color them all, I'm gonna create, let me just throw out a number, 4 backgrounds. And I'm just gonna create all the backgrounds. Then, once these are all colored and cut out, I get to adorn them. Remember, we had that conversation during Card Club where it's time to put the trimmings on the tree. It's time to bring that mantle to life. It's time to, you've got your background set. It's time to adorn it and dress them up. And that allows you to take your creativity to the next level. You are now able to look far beyond that one image, that one card, that one layout, and dive into the endless possibilities that you have. You know, maybe can I try the cone here? Can I try the cone there? Let me try the bicycle on this one. What if I merge these 2 pieces? Because you've got all your backgrounds laid out. I should create a library of backgrounds. Like, we should just do all these backgrounds and then just photograph them all with no embellishment, no sentiment, no particular feeling, and then you just go to town. You just pick your background, you create, you make, you build, and you share. Get it? Tying into the letter S for my word share. Just wanted to plug that in.
Okay.
All right. So we'll switch again back here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add adhesive to this. And sometimes it's fun. You know what? Some of you guys, I'm not going to mention any names, but I might be in that circle of peeps. Have a lot of scraps. What?
Oh yes, I'm getting rid of all these scraps.
We have a lot of scraps. A lot of scraps. You know, different colors, different. You know, why don't you go in when you're watching TV mindless? You have and just start cutting them all up into different shapes and sizes. You know, maybe cut out your circles, punch them out into stars. And so you've got bits and pieces to choose from to create your backgrounds. And that's exactly what, I think that's a great idea, you know. We will be launching dies here soon.
What?
And hopefully we'll, you know what's so sad though, guys? I feel like I need some of those basic shapes, and it's like, well, do I really want to invest the money in launching a die that potentially I won't sell because everybody already has basic shapes? I've already sold them in the past, or they've bought them from someone else.
Like squares and circles.
Like squares and circles. Well, maybe squares. I've never really found a huge need for squares, but circles and ovals and scallops and stars and hearts. Like, I love those, but at the same time, you're like, well. All right, so that's going to go on there. And that is our background numero uno.
That's it?
That is it, guys. Easy peasy, cheesy breezy. When in doubt,
Pop it out.
we're going to pop this guy right out. All right, so we're done with card 1. Let's jump on in to card number 2. Now, because we didn't kit these for you guys, I'm not gonna call out what you guys should be, you know, kit number 1 or card number, blah blah, because I don't know how you guys kit them. I also don't know if you guys went rogue and decided to go with your own color palette. That would be cool. All right, so I have a couple of strips, and I think there was a total Gabby fail here.
What?
Oh, there wasn't. This is what you gave me this for?
Yes.
Let's see.
I have to give you something to do.
Wow.
Just kidding.
And what we're going to do is I'm just going to punch out. So this is kind of what I mean. You know, if you had some of your punches You know, if you're just watching TV, then create a little library. Maybe like put them in a Ziploc. Like these are all circles that are 1 inch in different colors, or these are all. You know what I mean? That would be kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
For that way, you can just pull a scrap. Oh, that was funny.
And it'll be ready to go.
And
right?
you'll be ready to go. All right. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to come in and I'm just gonna slice these. Now you can use a paper trimmer if you don't trust yourself. And you can do that one looks weird. And I just want different just little slivers. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some adhesive and I'm gonna start layering these down. Just like whatevs, you know? Just different.
You know, it's kind of like me when I was kitting your cards there for today. I was getting 2, so I'm like, oh, might as well I should do one too.
Oh, so you're doing one for yourself.
Yes, I was doing one for me and one for
I
you.
see. All right, and so then I have a piece of vellum that I'm going to be adding as well. To kind of help mute some of them a little bit. Look how cool that looks, right? And when in doubt,
We're gonna pop it out again.
we're gonna pop this guy out as well. I do love multiple layers on my cards. And we've got 2 cards.
Yay.
Check it out, guys. So much fun. So pretty. And again, let's just do a little test drive, okay? No pun intended. Joyride, test drive. Let's say we have all of our backgrounds, or maybe you just created 2. Now you have options. You're like, you know what? Love the cone on here, which is actually what's going to go on there. Do I want this, or maybe I want this? You've got options, right? You've got options. You can, I'm like, ooh, do I want the little Vespa? Look how cute the Vespa looks on that. Maybe I want the Vespa here. Maybe I want the hot air balloon. Gorgeous. That's stunning, by the way. Or maybe I want it here. Right? Do you see?
Mhm.
Do you see what I say when I mean what I say?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I say when I mean what I do?
What?
What?
It makes it easier.
It makes it
That's
easy for you, and they're all gonna match. They're all gonna coordinate, and they make amazing things happen. All right, my next project.
Oh. Like,
Now this one's super simple. We have a few strips on here, and I'm basically just gonna come in and layer them down. No.
What did you do?
Finished my adhesive.
Do you have another?
I don't believe so. I've got this big one. Yeah, I can. And I'm just layering one on top of the other. Sorry, all you see is hair. Cool. So I love that. Just holding that down a little bit.
Is this one okay? I don't know if you have any of the other ones.
That's fine. And I'm gonna pop this out as well.
I need to do this a little faster.
Am I running out of time? Oh, you
No,
need to
me.
do it.
I need to hurry up.
Yeah, you do.
I'm speaking for myself.
I thought you said you need to. I thought you were being
No.
bossy. Like, you need to do this faster.
No, I'm not bossy.
I think you use your man voice.
What? I use my
You need to do this faster.
You need to do this fast like that.
What?
What? That sounds so wrong.
Alright, guys. So, my last one. My last background. Look how beautiful these backgrounds are. You know what, guys? We should just create backgrounds from now on. Nothing but backgrounds.
Nothing but background.
Alright, so I've got some really cool ones here, just bigger pieces, and I'm just going to add right to the middle. Axel's like, I want to come in.
No.
Let me come in.
He was fine, but he saw me and then I lost it. Alex says, slow down, you're going to psycho killer speed.
Am I going too
I can't
fast?
keep up with all my talking and I'm doing.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, that was Axel. He was feeling lonely on the other side of the door.
Oh, is somebody asking? Who's crying?
No, I'm just letting them know because I know that they hear him.
And then I popped out this top layer for that super cool pop. Oh, that's because this one goes like this. Check it out, guys. 4 beautiful backgrounds ready for us to come in and decide what we want, where we want, right? We have options. Lots of them. So cute. And I love that concept. So the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna bring in a little bit of white splatter to all of them because I'm just gonna clear this up here a little bit. It's gonna look really cool, splattered in white. Now, white takes just a little bit longer to dry. So I'm just going to I love the white on this. It really softens it up. So I want to make sure that the white dries well. So let's just take a few minute break while this white dries. And then we'll be right back. We're gonna add a little bit of black splatter. The black splatter will dry a lot faster. And then we'll just come back and embellish and adorn and bring them to life. So see you here in just a few minutes. Hey guys, welcome back. I hope that I've given you enough time to get caught up on your cutting or coloring or splattering or coffee spilling, Alex. But we're about to add a little bit of splatter of black this time. So go ahead and grab your black paint. And we don't want to go as heavy with our black, just slightly. Just a few drops here and there. And this will dry a lot faster. I do like to make sure that when I'm working with such a clear palette or such a bright palette that my splattering is completely dry. I don't want any smudges or, you know, things like that to empower the coolness or the lightness, I guess I should say, of my images. So, but now that we've got our background set, it's time to start adorning the backgrounds. So I'm going to go ahead by grabbing some of my twine. You know, I like to add my twine down first. We are going to start with this bottom card here. Just a little bit of tape. And I'm going to bring in my twine. And I added the little bicycle to this one, so we're going to pop this guy right out. And I'm going to bring in my bicycle. So cute. I'll move these guys out of the way for now. And so I can zoom in a little bit more. And then of course you've got so many different sentiments to choose from. But I love the look before, not behind, especially for this card. For the inside, yeah, awesome. Look before, not behind. What an amazing message, I think. And you know, to look before you, not behind you. And we were kind of doing a little bit of kind of going down memory lane a little bit just a minute ago. And that's okay too. But when you think about the joyride, it's okay to remember the ride, but to always look ahead and to look to the future. Now, I did create a liner on every single project. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that now. And one of the things that I'm gonna wanna do is just add a little bit of splatter to these, but I won't do that until they're all done so that I can splatter them all the same way. Or what you could also do, so then it's gonna have a sentiment here. It's be a warrior, not a worrier. Look before, not behind. Be a warrior, not a worrier. So if you wanted to add some splatter to the inside, you can. You may choose not to because you might want to write a message on there, but I do like the little bit of a tie-in with, you know, just a little bit of splatter. You can choose to focus on a specific space. So if you create a stencil, let's say this is not it, but you got a big circle or a big square and you're just like, you know what, I just want the splatter to be here, and so then you just splatter, and that way it doesn't go everywhere. It just kind of stays within a central area. I kind of like that idea.
That is a good idea.
So anyway, so that's card number 1. We're gonna jump on board to card number 2 here. Card number 2. Get it?
So Gail says, OMG, I cut the slits between the petals before I spritzed, and it turned out amazing. I believe she's talking about this one.
Oh, cool. The slits before the petals?
Well, because you know how you cut two? You cut the one flower to
Oh,
the
yeah,
one
yeah,
flower.
yeah. I can't wait to see your finished cards, guys. Please make sure you share them, because that's the only way I get to see them on social media. And then I'll go and I get to go in and I get to hunt them down or look for them. Beautiful. I love the ice cream cone on there. I love the ice cream cone on there. So amazing. And I'm adding the every perfect gift comes from above message. Now, again, this is one that I'm going to want to trim just a little. It doesn't look bad. It looks absolutely fine. But you know RG has issues. Did I just sound like an old man? Oh, sorry. I'm like, babe, this is no time to whisper things in my ear. What? I'm like, what are you saying? It's like, oh, I'm out of the camera. Got it.
They can't see what you're doing.
Just a little bit. I'm just coming in just a little bit more so that some of that cone can peek through. Some of that super cool background that we did can peek through. I love it. You're never going to believe this, guys, but I think I have figured out that I love to paper craft.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's a thing of mine now.
Became a hobby, huh?
Yeah, it became a hobby. It's a hobby of mine. Check it out, guys. Beautiful. Beautimous. I want a waffle.
You want a waffle?
Yes.
What did you do?
I got paint somewhere, and I'll give you this real quick.
Get this out of the way.
You can get that out of the way, and then I can clean my finger before I get white on things. White on things. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a triple bow on this one. So anyway, guys, as I was telling you, I got squirreled. we were going through the share, right? Because that's what S stands for. Stands for share. And so I went back to kind of get a quick glance at, how much have we shared? How many lives have we done? How many events have we done? How many in-person, classes? And we have done over 300 live feeds in the
What?
last. Yeah,
I'm tired. I'm kidding.
I was like, what in the world? That means that I would have had wrong bottle. I would have had to share over 300 projects in the last year. Just because if you think about it, we go live almost on a daily basis, and sometimes we've gone live. My glue, I can't find it. It must have
Glue?
stayed. Yes, it must have stayed in my stamp room. And we almost go live every day, and then on top of that, sometimes I go live twice a day. For when we're doing RG shares, and it's just nuts. That's a lot of sharing. Look how beautiful that is. So I'm just gonna glue that down once Miss G comes back with some glue. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my little Super Cutie Patootie. I love this one. I love them all. It must be. Oh, you know what?
It might be.
It's right here.
Really?
Sorry.
I'm like, I go over there, I see nothing.
Let's blame Rose.
Rose. Why are we blaming Rose?
I don't know.
Talking about Rose, she's like, wowzers, 300 projects and all of them amazing.
Yeah, it certainly has been. I was like, wait, what? I'm going to run out of ideas here in a minute.
And Miss Pat joined us.
Hi, Miss Pat.
She's like, OMG, I forgot to set my phone to remind her.
Oh, no.
And sharing is caring, she says. Yes.
Sharing is caring. We certainly have had a blast doing it, so.
This is so fun to do all this and everything. And so sometimes we're like, I don't know why I'm so tired. Why am I so tired?
That's right. Well, duh.
Well, duh.
We work really hard.
Mm-hmm. But I guess we're having so much fun that we, it doesn't seem like we're working. It just.
That's true. Time flies when you're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Or so they say.
No, it's actually very true.
Sharing a little joy, sending a little joy in your ride. Love it. Love it. Want it. Already got it.
That's what RG is saying for sure. Just saying.
Look how cute that is, guys. So amazing. Wait, I didn't do my liner on these other ones because
What?
I got squirreled.
But I have to catch up now.
You are not even halfway done.
I don't know. I'm probably like all our other fellow crafters out there.
This one's silly. I added a liner and it's already a white background. But I do like the weight that it's added to my card, so. And for this one I added blessed. Every perfect gift comes from above. Blessed. Love that. And then uno más. See, I messed it up. Boo.
Shame on you.
I didn't mess it up. I just modified it. And this one has good luck. Oh, I don't even have good luck.
You don't have good luck.
Must have lost it somewhere. These go to that one. It's gotta be here somewhere, guys.
There is no good luck. Let me see.
There is a good luck. See? It's probably just underneath my papers.
Oh.
Because
lost mine too.
it had to. Oh, maybe was it stuck to my board still?
I might have accidentally thrown mine away.
You threw your good luck away?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't see it.
You don't need luck when you got Jesus.
I got Jesus. That's right. Hey.
Alright, well, I'm sure it'll pop out. Let's go ahead and jump on board to our third one here. Beautiful, beautiful project.
Oh. I lost mine too.
You lost your luck too?
I'm gonna cry.
How's that possible?
I don't know. Well, it's because it's right here.
It's a
And when I
little
was
one.
cutting, so I don't know what happened to it. Because I have all of these attached. But I'm missing the one.
Alright. So I'm adding my twine. You found it?
No.
Oh. Oh. I'm throwing stuff in the trash and you moved it. Uh-huh. And I'm just adding some foam squares to my super kitty patootie hot air
I
balloon.
love that.
You found love, but no luck. Look how cute that is.
Yeah, I don't think it would have gone all the way though.
I just love this so much. Now I do want him to go off to the side a little bit, so just kind of like make him cattywampus because it's going and it's up, up, up and away. Now this one, I'm going to be using the Hope is Given. I'm just going to trim this down slightly. I'm small.
Who knows? That's so weird.
What's weird is that we both lost it.
You have no luck. Once we're done with the class, it'll show up.
It'll show up.
Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, you've been there this whole time. Pash is like, love is way better than luck since I found love. Not luck.
Just a little extra cut. Is that crazy?
It is crazy.
It's gotta be here somewhere.
It's not under your mat.
I tried looking.
Yo no sé.
That's it. You inspired me. Beautiful. Hope is always given. Ugh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Want it, want it, want it. Already got it. And the inside of my card. loving God, loving people, and showing it. Beautiful. Now, of course, we're going to add our 3D elements. So now that it's set, I'm going to bring in some glue. And you'll notice that our flower that we created earlier is now dry. And it's dry in the shape that you left it in. Hopefully. So you've got all those fun, different layers, fun little things. Right? Now we get to place it. Now you don't have to place it in the exact same shape. You can decide to turn it, make it more 3D-ish, like there's no real right or wrong way. And it doesn't have to fit the exact same layout as the bottom, because that's the whole point, is to make it more 3D-ish. So we're gonna bring that in, and it's stunning.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. I want it. I already have it. What?
I don't know.
Look how beautiful that is, guys. And of course, they all have our little liner. Be a warrior, not a worrier. And I think it's beautiful. Now, once you are done with all of your bells and whistles, you may decide to go back and add your resin, your glitter, your sequins. Let me show you. And I colored them differently. So my original, I did it a pink center bloom, and this one I did with the blue. I think I like the blue one better, actually. But I'm just added some clear sequins around there, and of course some resin and some glitter to my cone. I may actually leave this one without. What?
What?
Just kidding. That's not gonna happen. I'm gonna double pop this one.
I was gonna say.
I know, I thought about that, and then I was like, yeah, not a good idea. I'm gonna double pop it just because I want it to really pop. Beautiful. Check this one out, guys. Darling little Vespa. And my favorite, hope is always given.
Vivi Abu says, just love this class. The cards are absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, they truly, truly are. And as it was coming to life, I was like, God, this is so amazing. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to bring paper to life. What?
What?
Did I just say? Well, I did. Dang it.
Well, it's your line, so.
Look how pretty, guys. And here we go, guys. I hope you had a blast. Sorry for all the chit chat. But it's always a pleasure to be able to connect with you guys. And it's like our own little... Am I...
You're on time.
I'm on time.
You're on time.
Kind of. No, I am on time. It's always a pleasure to be able to create this amazing experience with each and every one of you, and we get to celebrate our crafty time together. The only sad part is I don't get to hear you guys talk sad and good maybe at the same time, because I'm just thinking of
through me, because I
so you guys are being channeled in through Gabby. And then I get it. But it's always a pleasure to be able to connect with you, to be able to hopefully inspire you to go out and create, and you too can bring creativity to life and make amazing things happen. So thanks for being, let's look at Gabby's projects, because she's gone very far.
I just need to put them all together now. I'm not done.
She obviously was not following along. Axel's crying that he wants. He's like, me, me, me. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of our story and for sticking by our side through the ups and the downs and the craziness and the unknowns. It certainly has made a difference for us and in our story, not just for our family, not just for our business, but really for the story that we're building together. So as we get closer and closer to Rise, the event, I can't wait. It's probably going to be a little bit of an emotional roller coaster that day, but it's going to be an exciting one because we get to share kind of where we've been, what we've gone through, but most importantly, where we're going and how it's actually the start of something new. Because you guys are RG Studio 360 and we are super excited with all of the amazing things that God continues to do. That doesn't mean we have all the answers. That doesn't mean we've got everything all set and worked out. It just means we continue to enjoy the ride and walk by faith. So thanks again for joining us today. I hope those chips are mighty tasty there, Ben. And that salmon sandwich? Was it
A salmon
a
burger.
salmon burger. Sounds healthy and altogether. But anyway, guys, any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks for being a part of this Joyride class with us. And I can't wait to see your projects on social media so that I can celebrate them as much as I see them. Thanks for joining us, guys. Remember to continue to create and capture so that you can bring hope to those around you. Thanks for joining us again. And buenos dias, buenas tardes, buenas noches. Adios.